So I finished watching Monster, the Ed Gein story, and I don't do normally like these Netflix docuseries reviews, mostly because a lot of them are horribly inaccurate and focus more on spectacle than anything else. Kind of like the Cleopatra one that came out saying that like she was pure African American when there's no substantial evidence. It's not even like me trying to say like, oh, the show is woke or whatever. No, there's no substantial historical evidence that Cleopatra was of African descent. She was of Greek descent, mixed with Egyptian descent. Yeah, and they just ran with it. And also, like, the whole thing with, what's his name? The guy what's his name? He got a whole Netflix show, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he's like this pseudoscientist who doesn't have, what's his name? He's like a fake archaeologist, and he got a whole series. That's my thing, is that Netflix is really dangerous when it comes to talking about these things and claiming it's historical fact. It's the same thing of like when they sensationalized the Menendez brothers and Dahmer in the other monster ones. But this one I was curious about because Charlie Hunnam was playing Ed Gein, and I was really curious to see where they were going to go with the series. I was very curious to see where they were going to go, and I wanted to watch it. And they did. And I hated it. Wow. Holy crap. I mean, guys, this was so bad. I didn't I was just checking my phone real fast, and I was just like, nope, this is not gonna be that professional, because like this show was egregiously misinterpreting so many things about the Ed Gein case, and also like. I understand that like you want to sensationalize some things, which, by the way, before we go any further, if you actually would like to have some stuff, something about Ed Gein that is a little more historically connected to him and more factual, but also keeps that sensationalization, go read the comic Did You Hear What Ed Gein Done? It's a comic by Eric Powell, who most of you guys know best as the creator of The Goon. He was also a creator on a lot of other comics. It's a solid book, and it actually keeps close to what the Ed Gein murders were like, but also has some sensationalization there, but not too egregious as here. So yeah, go check if you want to go check that comic out. You will get more mileage out of that than here. So real quick, Charlie Hunnam, God bless him, he tries his best to carry this show. And also that voice, like thinking about it, like, wait, we don't really have a lot of recordings of what Ed Gein sounded like. What we do have don't sound like that. So I don't know what that's about. But I do appreciate that, like, for all this show's flaws, Charlie Hunnam really does carry himself. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, he at least carries that. But there are so many things wrong with this. Like, for start, I don't even care if I'm spoiling this show. I really don't. The whole thing of making it like a pseudo Mindhunters crossover. What? What was that? And also, Ed Gein did not help capture Dahmer. Not Dahmer. What's his name? It was he didn't help capture any serial killers. Yeah, that's what was that all about. Also, the whole thing with talking about the movie, because the one thing they really lean into are the three movie inspirations for that Ed Gein's murders caused. Obviously, Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. Those three. And they really try to throw those in there really hard, like really sensationalize it. Which that is really awful. And also, if you're going to do a whole thing talking about like, is Hollywood the monster? Is Hollywood the real monster? And Ed Gein's just an innocent victim? No, Ed Gein is the monster. Full stop. Ed Gein is the monster through and through. Like that shouldn't even be a case. On top of that, they also try to do this weird thing with like Alfred Hitchcock being like really obsessive and really creepy, which yeah, he was really awful to the female cast on set, and there's a lot to talk about with Hitchcock. But who's the bigger monster, Ed Gein or Hitchcock? It's Gein. It's fucking Gein, guys. Like I don't remember anything about Alfred Hitchcock making nipple doorbells or eating people. Ed Gein is objectively worse. And the whole thing of like also insulting, this one really got me, of insulting the director, I can't remember his name, the director of Silence of the Lambs, as well as Tobe Hooper, which they're saying like they make this whole thing up of like, oh, Tobe Hooper was always messed up and, you know, he always thought about killing people. No. Toby was not, like, they're taking one thing out of context that was like the reason for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, the original idea for Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of formed. If you don't know this story, basically what it was that during the holiday season, Tobe Hooper was trapped in a mall that was really crowded, and he was just having an anxiety attack. And he saw a chainsaw on the wall and made a joke saying, "I wish I could grab that chainsaw and just get out of there." Yeah, Hooper was not some psychopath. He was a genuinely caring guy, and it's really like that. And Hitchcock and also saying the director of Silence of the Lambs, who was nothing short of a genuinely good person, who actually cared about the discourse at the time regarding Silence of the Lambs and how the trans community was viewed because of that movie. Saying they're all sickos and psychopaths. Also, good job of really demonizing the trans community in this show. Not like they didn't need that help before. Yeah. Also, this whole thing of like there were some they were saying also that, oh, you know, he had other people with him, like other people throughout his life, like, and he even had Ed Gein had sex with someone. That's never happened. And also the whole thing of like, oh, it could be in his head. Not really. There is one scene where it's like, oh, this could actually be in his head, and like it is actually in his head, and then they just basically confirm everything else isn't. Yeah, so they never at one point say, oh, you feel sympathy for the monster, you'll feel bad for him. I'm not going to feel bad for it. It's the same thing of like trying to make me feel bad about the Menendez brothers or Dahmer. They killed people. They fucking murdered people. I hate, and this has been, this was kind of my worry about it. And like I said when they were talking, and I was excited, keep in mind, I was excited for this show, because I was curious about, like, them connecting, but man, did they just want to make this Joker. That's what it is. They really just wanted to make this Todd Phillips Joker. Like, with, Gein dancing with a chainsaw, or, you know, all these other moments that just feel like these bizarre moments, I feel like he just looked like the creators of this show looked at Joker and like, we can do that, but with an actual serial killer, and we can change the facts, however, because feelings matter more than facts. So, once again, this is again my problem with docuseries on Netflix, especially. Not to say not to say other streaming sites don't do this, but Netflix has been egregious with how how they've allowed just basically pseudo science and pseudo work play into this. And the monster Ed Gein story is just another point of that. And so if they do, like, this is why I kind of want them to do Albert Fish, because I'd really love to see how you would try to empathize with that monster. Spoilers, you can't. If you've ever heard of the Albert Fish killings, have fun with that, because it's not fun. But yeah, this sucked. Like, this was awful, and also trying to connect it to, like, the like, I get, like, they were trying to do, like, Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Texas Chainsaw, but, like, it's not so much about Ed Gein as it is, like, trying to sensationalize this factually wrong, and also make it like, oh, did you guys remember break out the member berries of Mindhunters? This show was so all over the place, and it was so bad. Yeah, I hated it. I straight up hated this. But yeah, if you liked it, that's fine. If you like this thing, that's fine. I just personally hated it. But you guys tell me in the comments below, What'd you guys think of this? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.